Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Tank be chopping, and I'm back with another haircut tutorial. Alright guys, getting straight into this haircut. What we gonna be doing is a number 5 on top. We're gonna be doing a high fade, you know what I'm saying, adding some enhancements, really making that lineup pop. So let's go ahead and get into this haircut. As you can see what I'm doing here, guys, I have my Stylecraft Mythic. I have my number 5 on my clipper. These are the dub guards that I'm using in this video. I got my number 5 on there, going over the top, getting all that down to my client's desired length. And once again, guys, when we do this, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure we're going over the top a good amount of times. That way we get it all down to that length. We don't want any hair sticking up. We don't want any stray hairs or any of that. So you're gonna see me going, against the grain and across the grain a good amount of times just to make sure that it's all down to that length. And then you will be seeing me use my brush, just to make sure I brush away extra debris and whatnot. And now what I'm doing is I'm moving on to the sides. I have my number 4 on my clipper, and what I'm doing is I'm basically just doing some debulking. I'm gonna be doing a little bit of down fading here just to make this process a little easier for me. So what you see me doing here is I have my number 4 on my clipper, and I'm coming up basically to where the head starts to round, right above that parietal ridge area, and I'm making sure that this fades into that number 5 on top. But at the same time, I don't want to go too much into the, into the shape of the head, you know what I'm saying? Because we don't want the shape of the head to look too round once we finish this haircut off. So now what I'm doing is I have my number 3 on my clipper, and I'm doing the same exact thing that I do with that number 4. I'm going in with my lever all the way open, which makes this a 3.5. And then as you saw me do right there, I close my clipper and I'm coming right below that with my number 3 guard with the lever closed, which makes it a 3. And the reason why I'm doing this is because, like I said, guys, I am gonna do a little bit of down fading just to debulk this area and make this a little easier for me. And now we're doing the same exact thing on the opposite side, starting off with my 3 with the lever open, coming right below what I did with that number 4 guard. Making sure I'm using a slight flick out motion, that way I don't create any harsh lines. And then I'm gonna close my lever all the way and come right below that with my number 3 guard. And I'm going over this a good amount of times just to be nice and consistent with it. Y'all know how your boy does it. Alright, so now I'm gonna go ahead and start off by setting in my bald guideline, and I'm using my Andes GTX XOs. I'm gonna set in that line right about where the C cup would begin or where it would end, depending on how you look at it, right? And the reason why I'm setting it off there is we are gonna do a high fade. Normally I set off my fades right below that, but I like to start it off right here because I know I'm gonna raise that fade anyway, so I don't want to set my guideline in too high. So I like to start it off right about that point area and then work my way around. And then when it comes to fading, I know I'm gonna stretch that blend anyway, so I'm really not too concerned about it not being high enough. And 9 times out of 10, guys, it's gonna be high enough if you start off at that point area, especially if you're trying to do a high fade. I know some people like super high fades, and for those clients, sometimes I come like halfway into their vertical bar. But for this particular client, head shape and the way I know he wants his fade to look, I'm gonna go ahead and start off my blend right there. And each client is gonna be different, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be on a basically like a base, not base by base, but a case by case basis, basically meaning each client may you may have to set in their guidelines slightly different. Alright, so now that that is done, I'm taking my Babyliss FX3 shaver, and I'm gonna go ahead and get all these sides down to skin. And as you can see, I'm just taking all that down, and what I'm doing is the closer I get to that line that I created with my trimmer, I'm making sure I use a slight flick out motion. And we're gonna go over this, a good amount of time. Just really make sure we get it all nice and as short as we can get it. That way this blend lasts my client longer, and that way it just looks, nicer at the end of the haircut. Alright, so now I'm going in with my Mythics. I have my lever all the way open, and I'm gonna go ahead and set in my next guideline. And as you can see, I am using a slight flick out motion. I'm coming up about 3/4 of an inch or so, and I'm gonna make sure I do this a good amount of times. And when I say a good amount of times, maybe like once or twice, really just be nice and consistent with it, but make sure that that line is, it's pretty straight. It doesn't have to be the straightest you can be, the straightest you can make it, I'm sorry, but you wanna make sure that it's pretty straight. That way, you set yourself up for a good end product. And now I'm going in with my number 1 guard lever open, setting in another guideline. And this is just a different technique that I use, guys. I don't use the same exact technique with every haircut. I like to switch it up sometimes. But nonetheless, this is my 1 lever open, setting in my next guideline, still coming up about 3/4 of an inch or so. And as you can see, I am using a slight flick out motion also, just to make sure I don't leave that next guideline too harsh. It makes it easier to take out, basically. And as you can see, I'm going over this area a good amount of time. Just want to make sure I'm nice and consistent with it. Make sure everything is down to that 1.5 length. And as you saw me do right there, I closed my lever all the way. And what I'm doing is I'm coming right below that number 1 lever open, just trying to take out that bottom line. And I know it's not gonna get it out completely. I'm gonna have to come back in later and mess with it some more, and that's perfectly fine. But as you saw me show the camera right there, this is my 1.5 guard, lever all the way open, and I'm setting in another section. And even though I say I'm setting in another section, I'm really trying to blend this out. And the reason for that is I'm already, really close to that, to the bulk area, and I don't wanna set in any harsh guidelines. I wanna make this harder than I need to make it. So I'm making sure that I use a flick out motion and making sure that I'm floating my clipper up and away. That way this 1.5 open blends into the bulk on top. And then as you saw me do right there, I just closed my clipper all the way, and I'm coming right below what I did with that 1.5 open, just doing it with the lever closed, still floating out that clipper. And now I have my number 3 guard on my clipper lever open, and I'm just going over this top area of the blend, trying to clean everything up. So I guess you can say this is kind of like some detail work, because I already did the 3.5, but I just debulked it. I really didn't go in and make sure it was nice and clean and nice and symmetric the way I wanted it to be. So that's what I'm doing here now. And then after this, I'm gonna use my number 2 guard, go in with my lever open. Try to down fade this a little bit, try to get them dark areas out of the blend, make sure them dark areas ain't there no more, you know what I'm saying? Basically get rid of these discrepancies in this cut, and then you're gonna see me close my lever, and I'm gonna come right below what I did with my lever open. So once again, guys, this is me doing some down fading technique. And I like to do it when I'm doing high fades because it keeps me from going too high. Like, even though it is a high fade, you don't want to go too high into the haircut. Basically, you don't want it to look like a mohawk, you know what I'm saying? And it's easy to make a haircut look like a mohawk, especially if they're getting a high fade and they have longer hair on top. And he ain't want a mohawk, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we're not trying to do. But anyways, guys, this is my number 1 guard lever open, coming right below what I did with my 1.5 guard. Still flicking at these lines, flicking at these dark areas, just trying to get this blend to come together. And as you saw me do right there, guys, I did close my lever all the way, and I'm attacking the bottom of that guideline that I set in. Y'all saw a little guideline there, and I'm just attacking it a little bit with that one. It basically didn't. I can't speak right now. It basically didn't come out completely when I did this earlier. So now that I'm raising that blend a little bit and detailing it, it kind of came out a little more, but I'm going back in. Well, I'm going in now with my 0 guard. I haven't used my 0 guard yet, but I'm going in with the 0 guard, lever open, and this is cleaning up most of the discrepancies. And then I'm gonna close my lever and adjust it as needed to get rid of that line that y'all seen me get rid of. And now I'm going in with my clipper, no guard on my clipper, lever all the way closed, and I'm attacking this bottom line. And basically what I'm doing here is I'm just flicking at that line, guys, and for the most part that may get rid of this line, but I know I'm gonna have to adjust my lever, just adjust it as needed to make the blend look even better, make it look flawless, make it look nice and airbrushed, give it that airbrushed effect that we're going for. And then there may be a slight line at the bottom of this blend that I'm gonna have to come back in with my trimmers and get rid of. And that's totally fine, guys. 9 times out of 10, I have to get rid of that bottom line with my trimmers, and I don't mind doing that. I think it helps give the blend a finished look. And that's just my opinion, guys. So here I am going in with my GTX XO, just cleaning up the bottom of this blend, you know what I'm saying? Getting that razor demarcation line completely out to where it blends into the stubble at the bottom of this blend. And now I'm lining up my client. Y'all know how I do it when I like to set in these lineups, guys. I like to start in the middle of my client's hairline, in the middle of his head. Set my initial guideline in, and then I'm gonna move my way over. And remember, guys, we are gonna be adding some enhancements. So even though his hairline is slightly thinner in the corners, I'm not gonna push this hairline too far back. Like, yes, I'm gonna push it back a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I am gonna do what I call a controlled pushback, just to make sure that this line is nice and straight, nice and sharp, but I'm not gonna push it back too far to where it just looks, you know, like just crazy, you know what I'm saying? I do want it to look sharp, but I don't want it to look like I made up a new line. So now that line is in there, guys, y'all know how your boy does it. I have to go back in and do some detail work. And when I'm detailing, what I like to do is I like to start with my biggest guard that I used, which in this case was a number 4 on the side. Start off with my number 4, detail a little bit, put my 3 on, detail a little bit, put my 2 on, detailed a little bit, and so forth and so forth. And most of the time, that's what I do, guys. I like to work my way down if I don't know exactly what guard I need to use. And in this scenario, the reason why I did it that way is because since it is a higher fade, I didn't want to take off too much hair, you know, right at that parietal ridge area, and I really didn't want to scalp them and mess anything up. So I wanted to go back step by step and just work my way back down, just to make sure that it really blended in nice and it looked good. So now we're on the opposite side of my client's head, guys, and we're gonna be doing the same exact thing. I did speed up this part of the video. I don't like to, you know, I feel like if y'all really wanna watch it again, y'all can just rewind it and watch those original steps. I am doing the same steps, might be slightly different on this side. Most of the time, on the first side, I take my time because I know, obviously I know I'm recording, right? But I like to take my time because I know that I'm gonna have to speak and let y'all know what I'm doing. And then on the opposite side, I just get into autopilot, I guess you can say. I start talking more with my client and I just really start moving. So the steps may be slightly different, but for the most part, I'm doing the same exact thing. And you don't have to do the same exact steps each time on each haircut on every side. Like, yes, you should, because it'll help give you a more balanced cut. But if you know what you're doing, if you've been doing this long enough, you can do like 2 different styles of cutting. That you can do down fading on one side and then do regular steps on the opposite side, and you can still get a good blend, you know what I'm saying? And it'll look nice in unison and nice and just, you know, uniform and just look like one blend. But that's something that takes practice, guys. So just continue doing your steps, practicing what makes you better, do the technique that you like to do that gives your blends the best look that they can possibly give. Keep practicing them, and then you're just gonna be giving blurry blends out all the time. And then once that is, you know, easy for you to do, then you can start experimenting and doing different techniques. Or if you want to go ahead and try a different technique because the technique you're using now just isn't working the best for you, or it's taking too long, go ahead and try it. You know, what do you got to lose? But as y'all can see, guys, this side of the blend is coming along. You know what I'm saying? There is some more work that needs to be done. I believe this side of the blend actually was giving me some issues. You know what I'm saying? I think I had to go back and detail it a little more, just because, you know, not everybody's head shape is the same on both sides, or hair texture is exactly the same on both sides, or sometimes their hair doesn't even grow exactly the same on both sides. So sometimes you have to attack fade slightly differently. But nonetheless, guys, it's coming together. You know what I'm saying? Looks like it's getting done. Going in with my trimmer now, getting rid of that last little line at the bottom. And now I'm going back in and detailing it slightly. Y'all let me know what you think about this haircut so far in the comment section, guys. Also, once again, this is the Stylecraft Mythic that I'm using. They just released a new clipper, the Stylecraft Apex. It's on pre-orders right now. You can actually go to their website, the Stylecraft Pro website, and you can use my discount code TANK10. It's a super dope clipper, guys. I actually have an unboxing to that clipper. I just did it I did it last week, and I'm going to be doing a review on that clipper later on this week. But nonetheless, guys, as you can see, your boy is finishing up my client's hairline, or not his hairline, but I'm finishing up his line up with my trimmers. And like I said, guys, we are going to add some enhancements. I'm actually going to do the no drip. I'm going to do hair enhancements with the hair topic, the hair fibers. I'm going to do the pencil. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really going to take this haircut to the next level. Alright guys, so now that my client's hairline or lineup, I keep saying hairline, now that his lineup is done, you see your boy is going in with my airbrush gun, and I'm just setting these, putting in these enhancements, making sure that this line really pops. And if you are interested in this airbrush gun, I do got the link in my description. Probably one of the best airbrush guns that I've ever used, but nonetheless guys, I did that no drip on there, and now I'm going in with the Barber pencil. And what I'm doing is I'm just basically tracing this lineup, or right below the lineup, and what this does is this adds some contrast from the skin to the hairline and just really makes that lineup pop even more. So that's what I'm doing with this pencil. And remember guys, you got to fade this line out. You don't want this line to look super like right there. It looks like you can see it too much, and you're gonna see me fade it out here in a minute. But I did add hairspray on my client's lineup, and the reason for that is I'm going in with the hair fibers right here. And as you can see, it's just filling in those little lighter areas that he has, making it look a little bit more natural, because I used the no drip on there. Hit him with the hairspray once again, really to lock in those fibers. And now I'm going in with my trimmers, erasing this line that I did with the Magic Barber pencil. And not just that guys, this also it's helping to line up those little excess fibers that I put on my client that weren't 100% straight. So I'm basically relining him up now, just to make sure that line is nice and sharp. And then what I'm gonna do after this, I'm gonna hit him with the razor, and it's really gonna make everything pop even more. So as you can see, that lineup is already looking pretty crispy, you know what I'm saying? It's looking nice. But once I hit it with the razor, it's gonna look even better. So here is the razor, and you want to make sure you're stretching your client's skin back, guys. You want to lessen the chance of nicking your client. So make sure that you stretch that skin nice and tight, and hold your razor as flat as you can hold it. As you can see, I'm not holding mine super flat, and the reason for that is I feel that I don't want to say that I'm cold at what I do, but I've been doing it a good amount of time, guys. But I still nick people every now and then, so you still want to make sure you're taking your time and being careful with what you're doing. Alright guys, so check it out. This is how my boy came into the shop looking. And this is the final product. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this haircut in the comment section. If y'all like this video, please make sure to smash that like button. Also, if you're new to my channel, make sure and subscribe one time for your boy. Remember guys, if you're in the Houston, Texas area, Pasadena, Texas area, whatever, and you want a haircut, you can book an appointment with your boy. You can go to my website, tankbechopping.com. If you want me to record it, you can put that in the comment section. Also, make sure that you put that you want me to record it for YouTube, and I'm gonna see what I can do for you. Also guys, you can join our Discord. We have a Zero Gap Discord. The link is in my description. And yeah guys, that's basically it. I appreciate y'all for watching this video. If y'all have any questions about the tools or anything y'all seen me do, please leave the question in the comment section. But that's basically it guys. I appreciate y'all for watching. Until next time, let's go.